Back with you at Staples Center in Los Angeles. Our go-to guest on After Hours remains Kevin Bieksa, even if he is not currently playing in the NHL. Now, we talked about your status at the start of the broadcast tonight, but for those just tuning in, what is it?
I thought we already talked about this. I mean, my status
The audience
is,
changes over the course of the evening.
I'll tell you, to be honest, my status will be probably determined in the next 2 days. So just trying to decide if I still want to play and what options. But Europe intrigues me. I think playing over there, there's just something to it. You know, I've been around here for a while, and there's some new rinks over there and some different leagues and different teams, and it's interesting. So I got to think about it.
Well, now listen, you're scheduled to work on our All-Star broadcast with us in a couple of weeks in San Jose. Are you trying to tell me you could be gone then?
I'm spreading myself thin. I'm spreading myself all over the place, and whatever happens, happens.
It's going to be a long flight if you're in Europe.
We'll get more deeply into that in a moment. But here's a tweet from Brian Smith. We got a bunch like this tonight. This is representative of many. He says, will Kevin be running the show and asking the questions? And later in the day, you tweeted.
Aren't I always running the show, though?
Well, that is correct. But asking the questions, I don't know. And then you responded with this later in the day. This is from you. Yeah. Maybe I should be asking the questions then tonight. Keep it clean, people, or not. I don't care. What are you doing?
I mean, what am I doing? I don't care.
Stirring the pot again.
Stir the pot. Ask me questions that you don't think I like. I don't care. But, I mean, I should at some point have the free reign to ask you some questions.
Go ahead, but I don't think people will be interested.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right. There's been great anticipation over your appearance on this program tonight, including from our Eastern Bureau.
Now later tonight, Scott Oak is one of my favorite guys of all time, Bieksa, and I'm going to watch that for sure. And I wish we had more time because a lot more, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, Kevin's going to be on the telecast is the point of that when the Oilers play Los Angeles. But I want to make sure everybody fully understands it'll be excellent, or be excellent. It's a long ago.
They said that.
So I'm not entirely sure who's one of Don's favorite guys of all time, me or you.
Definitely not you.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's me.
But you came into the league for Don as Bieksa, and apparently you're going to go out that way.
I mean, I love those two guys. For me, growing up in Ontario, it's a Canadian staple, Ron McLean and Don Cherry. You don't get sick of listening to those guys talk and dissect the game, and they're two great personalities. And Don and I have a long history, whether he knows it or not, but I think I was telling you guys earlier.
It's an interesting story.
Yeah, I don't know if I've said it before, but we used to go into his restaurants in Hamilton, Don Cherry's Grapevine, for like our year-end awards banquet, and my dad used to coach me, and he would always be there, and he'd be taking pictures with all the kids and the teams and everything. He was great, and then he ended up drafting me to the OHL years later, and I don't know if he remembers that either, but took me in the 17th round, really high draft pick, and gave me a chance. Made the team, gave me a chance to make the team, and then I took the opportunity and decided to go the college way because, you know, it's just probably the best decision you can make, but and the rest is history.
All right, here you are again with us on After Hours, and we've made this point, and we'll reinforce it with a piece of video here, that your appearances on this program have been memorable. So where would you like to start?
Wherever you want.
You know, you should be better, but we just talked about how you do this show for free now because they can't pay you.
But we brought in the closer, Kevin Bieksa. How's that for a no-pressure
I'll
intro?
do my best.
Yeah, you know, to tell you the truth, I'm surprised this show's still on the air. But here we are. It's like talking to my 10-year-old, really. To tell you. Terrible first question. You know, he likes the toilet humor, I guess. Shot. You had no idea what I was talking about.
Funny that you had no idea what I was talking about.
Everyone else, I think.
Muppets around the league that have been trying to do it, and
it's not very intelligent conversation.
I can tell you really.
Next thing you know, you got 4 Bieksas rolling around on the tee box.
So that's a pretty accurate reflection.
How
you doing?
Look at my son.
okay, it's okay.
What did he say?
He's 11 years old now. Scored a big goal tonight.
Oh, did
no big deal.
Yeah, good. Excellent.
You know what that's like.
In a tournament.
That's great.
No, just a regular season game.
Oh, okay.
It actually wasn't really a big deal, but scored a nice goal. I just thought I'd plug him.
Everyone's a big deal.
Yeah.
In that retrospective, was your shots prank on me? And, you know, how was I not to know that you were quoting those thought-provoking lyrics from LMFAO's party anthem released in 2009? Did you know any of the other words to that song?
Believe it or not everything revolves around you, and I wasn't doing that joke to get you
No,
or to duke
listen.
you. You just have no idea anything with pop culture. 'Cause
I bring it up because that was an
unless
assault.
somebody tells you.
That was an assault on my hipness, and I am the hippest man on Hockey Night
See,
in
we
Canada.
don't use the word hip anymore.
Okay,
That's the problem.
That was a moment, and another one in your time as a Canuck occurred right here at Staples Center, just down the hall in the visitors' dressing room. A network radio reporter approached you and asked you to do an interview. He thought you were Ryan Kessler. Instead of saying, "Hey, you got the wrong guy. I'm Kevin Bieksa. That's Ryan Kessler over there," you decided to become Ryan Kessler and impugn the integrity of Canadian hockey fans everywhere. Let's listen to a portion of it.
Well, if you're going to be an
Then
idiot,
you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
be heading
try.
back to Vancouver for Game 5. The crowd up there, you know how people in Vancouver are. They're nuts about their hockey. They're insane about their hockey. If you guys lose in Game 5 on that ice, how are you going to be able to walk around the streets of Vancouver?
Yeah, but you know what? Like I said, I'm an American and I like playing in the States. So, you know, the fans in Canada are great, but, you know, this is where the real hockey fans are, in my opinion. So I love the States, and this will always be home for me.
So, Kevin, you saw an opportunity to help end the career of that radio guy, and you took it. Nice work there.
I think it was going to happen eventually, but, I mean, he comes in the room and we have name tags over the stalls. Like, if you don't know who I am, just look. And he asked me a question for thinking I'm Kess, and I answered it. Funny thing is, Kess was actually upset about that. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, how could you be upset about that? It's like, it's in good humor, right? And the joke's on the guy. It's not on Ryan, but God bless America.
I think you did a good impersonation of him there. That was pretty good. Did you have a little accent in there too? A little bit?
Yeah, a little bit of accent. I talked a lot about myself, too. Just kidding, Kess.
Just
kidding,
got
Kess.
I just got a text from one of our producers in Toronto, and he says, Burke says, ask him about Fedorov. We've heard that story before, but he wants you to tell it.
That's old.
Oh, you don't want to tell it? Good.
You want to tell?
No,
Everyone's
you
heard
can.
it.
Go ahead.
But what can I say that hasn't been said before? I mean, I dusted a guy in the parking lot.
You might have told it about 12 years ago, so it's all new again.
I know, but remember we kind of said this thing how we weren't going to talk about it because it wasn't a good example for young kids that are coming up. And I mean, the short story is that I got into a fight, dusted him, end of story.
Fedorov was the guy that you knocked out cold, and you
No, I
thought
mean-
because you did it, and he was going to be a big star with the Moose and potentially in the NHL, you thought that that was it, that you were done, right?
But
and
let's-
that you'd hear from Brian Burke the next day that he was going to send you home.
That's almost what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, after it happened, I went home and I called my dad, and I was devastated. I'm like, I ruined my one chance. They're going to send me home. I'm never going to get another chance again. I had remorse right away. And I mean, it worked out a little bit because I was in the right organization. That
Brian likes that.
Brian likes that, as we all know.
Well, he's a fan of truculence, as we know.
Who isn't?
To the game. You finished up your contract with Anaheim last year. You were available to play for Canada in the Spengler Cup this year. You helped get Canada to the Spengler Cup final at age 37. What did the Spengler Cup tell you?
Spengler Cup told me that hockey's fun. I mean, it was just after not competing for about 8, 9, 10 months, just to be back competing and then playing for your country, right, is always the most special thing, I think. But anytime you get a chance to play for your country, I don't even think you think about it. You just do it, right? And we did well. It sucks that we lost in a shootout, and we had 4 chances in the shootout to win it, where our goalie made a big save, and it just didn't work out. But didn't take away from the fact that it was an amazing tournament, great experience. Families are really involved over there, and Hockey Canada does a great job of allowing the families to be around and have access to everything. So unbelievable experience. Wouldn't change it for anything.
So Anders Embel of HC Davos will forever remember your appearance in the Spengler Cup. What did you think about this big hit that you delivered on him?
Well, keep your head up first of all. I mean, like you learn quickly over there that because the ice is so wide, the guys go east-west a lot, and they take the puck to the middle. So I mean, it was only a matter of time before this guy would. So the guys in the team though that play in that league told me this guy is like the Wayne Gretzky of the Swiss League apparently. I mean, I don't know. I haven't even checked it and to see if that's accurate or not. But apparently, he skates around. He walks around like he's the man, right? And he deserves it. I guess he has all these accolades.
So right away, you want to hit him even harder.
Oh, I didn't know until after.
Okay.
So
But then you felt better
And they're
about
like,
it.
you know who you hit? And I'm like, yeah, some clown that had his head down. They're like, no, you hit like the Wayne Gretzky of the Swiss League. Like he's not used to getting hit. I go, too bad.
Yeah.
Keep your head up.
Welcome to my game, right?
Yeah.
All right,
Welcome
so
to Canada.
You don't think you're done 13 years into the NHL, and neither do Brian Burke or Doug McLean. This from Hockey Central at noon over Christmas.
What do you think about the Leafs adding a player like Kevin Bieksa, veteran D-man who could keep out front of the net clear and make opposing players think twice about taking runs at their star players?
I think he'd add just his presence and character and
Toughness.
toughness. I think that'd be a good avenue to explore.
Kevin Bieksa, as Brian knows better than I do, is character plus, toughness plus. Saw the big hit the other night in the Spangler Cup. I think it's a good question. I think it's worth exploring.
His character is beyond question. It'd be worth working him out at least. I think when he comes back from the Spengler Cup, if a team was interested, bring him in and work him out.
You tick a ton of boxes. Toughness.
So
character.
nice sell job by Brian and Doug. What would be the right situation for you?
I mean, I appreciate the things that they're saying. For me, and since the summer, I'm at this situation, the point of my life where, I mean, I think I've earned the right to be a little bit picky. So I've been picky with my decisions. And I mean, for me, I'm just looking for the right role. If I'm going to play in the NHL or play anywhere, I'm just looking for the right role more than anything. And up until this point, there hasn't been the right fit with the team. And I mean, time will tell, but I only got a couple more days, I think, before I want to decide. But I mean, I want to be a part of a team and have a good role. So that's always been the main thing for me. I'll play for free. I know my agent doesn't like that, but play for free. I just want
You don't want to be a guy on the outside looking in. You want to make sure you're in the lineup.
Hey, and you're doing this for nothing, right?
If I'm going to live away from my family and miss out on my kids' lives, then I want to be a part of a team and have a role, an important role. I don't want to be a guy that's there for, half the games or something like that. So that was my only stipulation.
And as I just said, you're doing this for free. So there you go.
Yeah, so are you.
We're getting exactly
we're
getting exactly what we paid for. Nothing.
Show generates no income.
Here's a tweet from the Everett Silvertips. Kevin, who's your favorite team in the WHL?
Yeah, that's easy. Everett Silvertips took me in right away, and when I talked to Sean Burke on the phone, I mean, I skated in a lot in October, and I was still training. Wanted to be ready for the possibility of playing. But November, I played a lot of golf, and I didn't skate at all. So when I got the call early December, I scrambled, and I needed to get on the ice right away. These guys took me in. Two of the coaches I play with in college at Bowling Green, Louis Mass and Dennis Williams. Team was phenomenal. I think I was able to talk to a lot of the kids individually and give them little tips and feedback. I went to the one game. I went into the room after the game and addressed the team and everything, what I thought, what I noticed, and it was great. I had full access to everything, and I mean, I skated and I worked out and all that, but I think I was able to help some of those kids a little bit.
Coaching in the future?
Yeah, we'll see. Long hours coaching.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Here's
film and everything, and
tweet from Mike Razzo. Following this show, Kevin, would you consider taking over after hours from Scott? And if not, would you consider giving him the Superman treatment?
Do you want it?
Yeah, who doesn't?
You think you deserve it?
For people who don't know, here it is.
Yeah, just picture Scott Oak now
Yeah,
on this guy's face.
You don't want the Superman.
I've thrown this punch so many times, and I mean, it took till the end of my career for people to notice it. Because it obviously worked out ideally there.
Well, that was a
but
perfect one.
I've thrown it so many times, and we were talking earlier. I don't know if I should share this, but I threw that punch at Zach Cassidy in an elevator in Vancouver once at the end of a night. And I don't even remember if it connected. Probably didn't connect, but
there's something we got to get in here before we go. We only have a minute left. All joking aside, it's probably too late to even say that now. But your greatest off-ice work as a Vancouver Canuck, I would say, was your involvement with mindcheck.ca. That's the website and project founded by the Canucks following the death by suicide of your friend and teammate Rick Rippon. The website has all to do with mental health awareness. It's now called, as you can see, foundrybc.ca. You worked hard to get people talking about mental health, and that will, as I say, perhaps be the best part of your legacy in Vancouver. Do you agree?
I mean, it's obviously a huge part and super important to me, and it's something that we started from the ground up, and it's developed into a pretty important thing now, and it's saved a lot of lives. And Hockey Talks is growing every year, and we're trying to get every team involved in the NHL. Right now, it's just the Canadian teams, and I think there's going to be a few new American teams this year recognized in that month. I mean, it's something that's very important. It's at the forefront. I've done a little bit of work with the LAPD, trying to gain recognition down here. Obviously, that started in British Columbia and spread throughout Canada, but there's a lot of people down here. The biggest thing that's opened my eyes when I started educating myself on this is there's so many people that suffer, and you wouldn't know it, but there is 1 in 4 people suffer. Right. It's an ongoing issue. And
we got to go.
Yeah. See you later.
Sorry to wrap
It's
you up.
important, but not that important.
We have to get off the air. Thank you. Kevin Bieksa once again saves After Hours. Back to conclude things in a moment.